Before you spend another quarter, stop right there and listen to me. Because what looks like an ordinary old coin in your pocket right now could actually be a hidden treasure worth serious money. I'm talking about rare standing Liberty quarter coins that people are accidentally spending every single day without realizing they're holding a silent fortune. Yes, some of these dirty old coins that most people ignore are actually big money coins that secret collectors are desperately hunting for. Do not spend these coins. I repeat, do not spend these coins. One tiny detail, one small mint mark, or sometimes the missing mint mark, can turn a simple quarter into life-changing wealth. These coins equal hidden wealth, quiet wealth, and real auction shock. And today we're exposing the top 3 most valuable ultra-rare standing Liberty quarter coins worth huge money. Check your pocket now, check your drawers, check those old coin jars, because you might be holding a fortune and not even know it. And trust me, each coin on this list gets rarer, bigger, and more shocking. The last coin, collectors are literally fighting over it. Stay with me till the end, because these old coins are a treasure nobody talks about. First coin number 1. Now imagine this moment. You're digging through an old jar of coins, maybe coins you got back as change years ago. Most of them look worn, scratched, maybe even a little dirty. But suddenly one quarter catches your eye. It feels older, heavier, like it carries a story. That coin could be the legendary standing Liberty quarter from the year 1929. And here's the shocking part, it has no mint mark. At first glance, it doesn't scream valuable. In fact, many people would toss it into a vending machine without thinking twice. But collectors know something the public doesn't. A 1929 standing Liberty quarter without a mint mark in very good condition is not just another old coin. It's a hidden treasure coin that collectors quietly chase across auctions and private collections. To understand why this coin is so special, we have to travel back to the year 1929 in the United States. It was a tense and uncertain time. The economy was standing on the edge of what would soon become the terrifying collapse known as the Wall Street crash of 1929. Businesses were struggling, people were worried, and the country was heading straight toward the era that history would call the Great Depression. During times like that, the U.S. Mint faced pressure. Coin production shifted, priorities changed, and many coins simply didn't survive the decades that followed. Millions were used heavily in circulation, worn down, lost, melted, or forgotten in dusty drawers. The 1929 standing Liberty quarter was struck mainly for circulation, not for collectors. These coins worked hard. They passed from hand to hand through grocery stores, train stations, cafes, and banks during one of the most unstable financial periods in American history. Because of that heavy use, very few survived in collectible condition today. And when you hold one in your hand, you immediately feel its presence. The coin carries the elegant design created by sculptor Herman Atkins McNeil. On the front, Lady Liberty stands proudly, holding a shield for protection and an olive branch representing peace. She's standing strong, almost like a guardian of American values during difficult times. Even in worn condition, that design still has a powerful antique beauty that collectors love. Flip the coin over and you see a fierce American eagle flying across the reverse, wings stretched wide across the surface. It's a symbol of strength and freedom, a design that instantly separates this coin from modern quarters. The coin itself has a unique physical presence. It's struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it that unmistakable soft metallic glow that older silver coins develop over time. The weight is about 6.25 grams, the diameter measures roughly 24.3 millimeters, and the thickness sits around 1.75 millimeters. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of American history pressed into silver. But here's where things become truly interesting. This particular coin has no mint mark. That means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't place mint marks on coins during that era. While that might sound normal, collectors obsess over subtle details on these quarters. The exact strike quality, the surface texture, the remaining lines in Liberty's shield, the eagle's feathers, these tiny details can mean everything. Because these coins circulated heavily during the economic chaos of the late 1920s and early 1930s, most surviving examples are worn down. Finding one in original very good condition with natural aging and honest circulation marks is actually part of what makes it desirable. But there's one thing collectors absolutely hate: cleaning. If someone tries to polish this coin to make it shiny, the value can collapse instantly. That original silver toning, that slightly darkened antique surface, That's what serious collectors want. It proves the coin survived naturally through decades of American history. So if you ever find one of these, never clean it. Leave it exactly the way it is. That natural surface is part of the coin's story. Another critical step is professional grading. When a coin like this gets authenticated and graded by a respected service, collectors gain confidence that the coin is genuine and preserved properly. That's when quiet auction rooms suddenly become intense battlegrounds. And believe me, when this specific coin appears in the market, collectors notice. They don't shout about it publicly. They watch quietly, then the bidding begins. Calm at first, then aggressive, because experienced collectors know these coins are disappearing into long-term collections. People who own them often refuse to sell. Supply keeps shrinking, demand keeps rising. And that's exactly why the market value for a 1929 standing Liberty quarter without a mint mark in very good condition has reached around $150,000 today. Yes, a single quarter that once bought a newspaper or a cup of coffee, now holds the power of hidden wealth, silent fortune, and serious money. But here's the scary part. People are still spending these coins by accident. They sit in inherited coin jars, forgotten drawers, estate sales, flea markets, quietly waiting for someone who recognizes them. So check your pockets, check your change jars. Check those old family coin boxes. And if you ever see a 1929 standing Liberty quarter without a mint mark, stop immediately. Do not spend this coin. And whatever you do, never clean it. Because that dirty old coin could be a life-changing treasure. But don't go anywhere yet, because the next coin on this list is even more shocking. It's rarer, more mysterious, and when collectors see it appear at auction, the room goes silent before the bidding war explodes. And trust me, this next standing Liberty quarter might be the one people regret spending the most. Next coin number 2. Alright, take a deep breath and look closely at the pennies sitting around your house right now. I'm serious. That dirty old penny you almost threw away, the one most people think is worthless, could secretly be a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. And the coin I'm about to reveal is exactly the kind of hidden treasure people are accidentally spending every single day. It's the legendary Lincoln wheat penny from 1942. And here's the shocking part. It has no mint mark and often looks dark, worn, and completely ordinary. That's why people lose it without realizing it. Stay with me because this is not fiction. What you're about to hear changes everything. Picture this moment. You're digging through a handful of pennies, maybe from an old jar or loose change from the store. Most look the same, small, brown, scratched, nothing special. But suddenly one penny looks older, darker, maybe even a little dirty. And right there on the front you see the date 1942 under the portrait of Abraham Lincoln. That tiny detail alone should make your heart skip for a second. Because that coin might be one of the most overlooked hidden treasure pennies still hiding in circulation. To understand why this coin matters so much, you have to go back to the year 1942 in the United States. The country had just entered the terrifying global conflict known as World War II. Factories were switching to wartime production, metals were becoming critical resources, and the U.S. Mint was under enormous pressure to produce coins while conserving materials for the war effort. Copper was suddenly extremely valuable for ammunition, wiring, and military equipment. That meant the government began preparing to change the composition of the penny entirely. In fact, just 1 year later the famous steel penny would appear, replacing copper for a short time. So 1942 became a strange transition year. The mint was still striking traditional bronze pennies, but the atmosphere inside the mints was intense. Production was high, metals were being carefully monitored, and the future of the penny was uncertain. The coin itself carries a design that collectors recognize instantly. On the front, the calm but powerful portrait of Abraham Lincoln faces to the right, a design created by the brilliant sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image had already been on the penny since 1909, but by the 1940s it had become one of the most iconic images in American coinage. Flip the coin over and you see the classic wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. Those wheat stalks give the coin its famous nickname, the wheat penny. Even in worn condition, that design carries a nostalgic, antique charm that collectors absolutely love. Now here's where things get interesting. This particular 1942 penny has no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And while millions were produced, most were heavily circulated during wartime. People needed every cent they could get. Coins moved constantly through shops, trains, factories, and military bases. Very few survived untouched, and many that did survive look exactly like the one people ignore: dark, dirty, and worn. But that surface, that deep brown color, that natural toning, collectors actually love that. It proves the coin lived a real life in circulation and wasn't tampered with. Hold one of these pennies in your hand and you can feel the history. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams. The diameter measures around 19 millimeters, and the thickness is roughly 1.52 millimeters. The metal composition is mostly copper with a small percentage of tin and zinc, giving it that warm bronze color that slowly darkens over decades. That aged appearance is part of its identity. But here is the biggest mistake people make, and it destroys value instantly. They clean the coin. Listen carefully. If you ever find a 1942 wheat penny that looks dark or dirty, do not clean this coin. That natural patina collectors call original toning is incredibly important. The moment someone scrubs or polishes the surface, microscopic damage appears and the coin can lose a massive portion of its collector value. Professional graders can see cleaning instantly. And once that happens, serious collectors walk away. What collectors really want is originality. Even if the coin shows honest wear from decades of circulation, that untouched surface tells the story of American history during wartime. Another detail collectors watch closely is the tiny lettering, the shape of Lincoln's coat, the wheat lines on the reverse, and the absence of a mint mark under the date. These microscopic details are exactly what collectors obsess over. When an authentic example surfaces with strong originality, the reaction in the coin collecting world can be intense. Auctions start quietly, a few collectors watching carefully. Then someone places a serious bid. Another collector jumps in. Suddenly the room feels tense because everyone understands the same thing. These coins are disappearing. Collectors who get one often lock it away in long-term collections, rarely letting it return to the market. That shrinking supply is exactly why demand keeps rising year after year. And today, the shocking market value for a rare 1942 wheat penny with no mint mark, even in dirty circulated condition, has climbed to around $290,000. Yes, a single penny. A coin people still throw into tip jars, drop under car seats, or ignore on the sidewalk, could secretly be hiding life-changing wealth. That's why this is one of the most dangerous coins to ignore. People are literally spending silent fortunes every day because they never stop to look. So here's what you must do. Check every 1942 penny you find. Look carefully under the date. If there is no mint mark, slow down and examine the coin closely. Never clean it, keep it safe. And if you believe you might have something special, send it to a professional grading service for authentication. Patience is everything in coin collecting. The people who rush often lose value, but the ones who protect original coins sometimes discover quiet wealth hiding in their hands. And remember this warning clearly: if you ever find this coin, do not spend this coin. Because what looks like a dirty old penny could secretly be one of the biggest hidden treasure coins still circulating today. But hold on, because the final coin coming next is even more unbelievable. In fact, when collectors see it appear, they don't just bid quietly, they start competing aggressively. And the shocking truth is, people are still accidentally spending it without realizing they're giving away a fortune. Next, coin number 3. Now listen very carefully, because this final coin is the one most people regret spending the most. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a quarter, and tossing it onto a store counter without even looking. That simple moment could cost you a silent fortune. And the coin I'm about to reveal has shocked collectors again and again. It's the legendary Standing Liberty Quarter from 1917, and if it carries the mysterious S mint mark, you could be staring at one of the most dangerous hidden treasure coins to ignore. Stay with me, because this detail changes everything. Picture this scene. A small pile of old coins sits on a table, maybe coins from a family drawer, maybe something found at a flea market. Among them is a worn silver quarter with an antique shine. It doesn't look flashy. In fact, it might even look a little dull from decades of use. But when the light hits it just right, the design jumps out, and suddenly you realize you're holding a piece of early 20th century America. This coin was born in 1917, during one of the most intense years in American history. The United States had just entered the global conflict known as World War I, and the country was shifting rapidly into wartime production. Factories were transforming, the economy was under pressure, and the demand for coinage was enormous as money moved quickly through the growing industrial system. Inside the U.S. Mint, the pressure was real. Workers were producing coins fast to keep commerce flowing, and during those conditions, certain mintages became incredibly scarce over time. That's exactly what happened with the 1917 Standing Liberty Quarter struck at the San Francisco Mint. And if you flip the coin and look carefully beneath the eagle, you might see that tiny but powerful letter, S. That single letter changes the entire story. Because coins struck at the San Francisco Mint in that era often had lower survival rates, they traveled across the western United States, moving through banks, railroads, mines, and ports. These coins worked hard, circulated heavily, and many simply disappeared over time. So when one survives today in very fine condition, collectors immediately pay attention. The design of this coin is one of the most beautiful ever placed on American money. It was created by the talented sculptor Herman Atkins McNeil, who wanted to capture both strength and peace in a single image. On the front, Lady Liberty stands confidently between two large pillars, holding a shield for protection and an olive branch for peace. It's a powerful message, especially during a time when the nation had just entered war. Even after more than a century, the details of Liberty's robe, the lines of the shield, and the proud stance of the figure still create a breathtaking visual presence. Flip the coin over and you'll see the majestic American eagle soaring across the reverse, wings stretched wide as if flying through open skies. The design carries a feeling of motion and freedom that collectors absolutely love. But beyond the beauty, the coin has a physical character that instantly sets it apart from modern quarters. It was struck using a blend of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it that unmistakable soft silver glow that older coins develop with age. Hold one in your hand and you can feel the history. The coin weighs around 6.25 grams, with a diameter measuring roughly 24.3 millimeters and a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters. It has a solid presence, a slightly heavier feel than modern coins, and when light touches the surface you often see gentle silver toning forming subtle shades across the metal. And that natural toning is incredibly important. Because here is the mistake that destroys the value of so many rare coins. People clean them. The moment someone polishes or scrubs the surface of a historic silver coin like this, microscopic damage appears and the originality is lost. Collectors immediately notice it. And once that original surface disappears, the coin's value can collapse dramatically. So if you ever find a 1917 Standing Liberty Quarter with an S mint mark, remember this warning clearly: never clean the coin. Collectors want originality. They want the coin to show its natural age, its real story, its untouched surface. Another reason this coin fascinates collectors is the tiny details hidden within the design. Experts look closely at the shield lines, Liberty's facial detail, the eagle's feathers, and the exact shape of the date numbers. These microscopic details help determine authenticity, strike quality, and overall desirability. And when an authentic example appears on the market in very fine condition, something interesting happens. The auction room goes quiet. Serious collectors don't rush. They watch, they analyze, then someone places the first serious bid. Another collector responds immediately. The numbers begin climbing because everyone in that room understands the same truth: these coins are getting harder to find. Many collectors who acquire one simply lock it away in private collections, sometimes for decades. That means fewer examples return to the market, while demand keeps growing among new collectors entering the hobby. That powerful combination creates something extraordinary. Today, the market value of a genuine 1917 Standing Liberty Quarter with the S mint mark in very fine condition has reached around $195,000. Think about that for a moment. A single quarter, once used to buy a newspaper or a train ticket, now represents hidden wealth, serious money, and a life-changing opportunity. And the most shocking part is that some of these coins are still hiding in old collections, forgotten boxes, inherited coin jars, and dusty drawers. People see them as old silver quarters and spend them without realizing they've just given away a silent fortune. So check every old quarter carefully. Look at the date, look under the eagle, If you see the year 1917 and that tiny S mint mark, stop immediately. Do not spend this coin. Protect it, store it safely, and most importantly, have it professionally graded so experts can confirm its authenticity and condition. Because what looks like an ordinary old silver quarter could secretly be one of the most valuable hidden treasure coins still waiting to be discovered. And that brings us to the end of today's incredible hunt through hidden American coin treasures. From a mysterious 1929 standing Liberty quarter, to a shocking wartime 1942 wheat penny, and finally this stunning 1917 San Francisco standing Liberty quarter, each one proves the same unbelievable truth. Life-changing wealth can hide in the smallest places. So before you spend your next handful of change, stop and check your coins. Look closely at those dates, those mint marks, and those tiny details collectors obsess over. Because the next silent fortune discovered might be sitting in your pocket right now. And if you enjoyed uncovering these hidden treasures with me, make sure you stay tuned, because the next video will reveal even more rare US coins that people are accidentally spending every day, coins collectors secretly chase, coins worth serious money, and coins that could completely change someone's life the moment they're discovered.